So y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, I don't have anything planned. I am just coming on here to chat. This is the Keeping It Real with Raka Khan, or Prophetic Promos with Raka Khan. Prophetic promos and muscles. And bling. You guys don't know nothing about that rainbow store. Look at that. I'm going to tell you about all this ice. I'm iced out. Oh, Junior, things in Texas are psychotic. I mean, in El Paso. Did you guys hear that freaking Beto O'Rourke announced? I'm pretty sure he announced that he's running for governor. I predicted that. Now, can you guys explain how a girl with no politics in her background, never ran for office, my first real, jump into politics, if you will, if that's even it, was volunteering for a mayoral candidate. And that really wasn't about politics. That's about passion. But Beto O'Rourke is running for governor, and I know for a fact that he's running for governor to destroy Texas. Junior, thank you so much for bringing up the question, how are things in Texas? Somebody needs to call Matthew McConaughey and tell him we need him to actually go through with it. I want Beto to feel the same fate that Ja Rule felt when he came for 50 Cent. Beto has no right on God's green earth to be trying to govern anyone. He doesn't qualify to hold any office, and there's a lot of people who are holding office in the United States that are criminals or untrustworthy, unfortunately. But Beto is on a whole new level. Beto O'Rourke was my congressman when I was a military spouse. Okay? Everybody knows I suffered military violence. And the military decided that they wanted to cover up the crime and protect the criminal. Well, when that happens, our government is set up with checks and balances. Hopefully another Republican runs Texas. Yeah, because if we lose Texas, we lose the southern border of the United States. If we lose Texas and we elect Beto O'Rourke, that's it. Texas is gone. So I was saying all of that to say this. I know for a fact that Beto O'Rourke doesn't give a damn about anybody in Texas. He definitely doesn't give a damn about anybody in El Paso. And he wants Texas to be raided by the cartel. El Paso's already run by the cartel. You guys see I'm sitting up here facing a fake felony. Okay? At my recusal hearing against Judge Medrano that I just had, now I did not argue this point right. Now the state knew that I still had a valid argument, and I'm sure that the court knew, looking at the indictment. On April 18th of 2019, my divorce case was the final decree allegedly was being signed, but there was no judge. She had been there was a motion set to recuse her, Yahar Gutierrez. So instead of getting another judge to deny the recusal, which she could have easily done, they've got a lot of friends in that courthouse. They've got a lot of judges stacked strategically to protect each other. Yahara could have easily went and got another judge to tell me no to cover her own butt. But the reason she didn't get up on April 18th, I'm sorry, not on April 18th, that was the 9th, on the 9th. The reason she didn't get up on April 9th, and the reason she signed a divorce decree on April 18th, she just signed this decree on April 18th, okay, knowing that there was a pending recusal, not one, but two. Two pending recusals. Hey, y'all. Oh, I'm seeing all kinds of people I haven't seen before. So, Junior got me all talking about Beto and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and go on that, because actually that's some of the stuff that was on my mind today that had gotten me in the mood to come on here and, you know, say, hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raka Khan, and this is Prophetic Promos with Raka Khan. I don't know what's about to come out my mouth, but I know when the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And the state of Texas, our greatest state in the United States, the most American state in the United States, the great state of Texas. We're not going to let Beto O'Rourke turn Texas into Juarez, because that's what he wants. These people, these government officials in El Paso, their whole legacy, their whole legacy is built off the blood of the innocent in El Paso. It's built off of corruption and cartels. It's built off of lying, stealing, and killing. Now Beto wants to govern the greatest state in America. Bro, have a seat. When I went to Beto O'Rourke as a military spouse, which means I'm a DOD card holder, which means that's the equivalent of a soldier, okay, but even more powerful, because the soldiers at that point in time didn't have the rights that civilians had. And you guys probably don't even understand, care, or know, but it was President Donald Trump that gave soldiers the rights that civilians had that they never had throughout the history of the United States military until President Trump came to office. Did you know a soldier was not able to sue the military if they were beaten, raped, or killed unjustly on federal property in uniform? They couldn't do anything. So they had to take all this retaliation and beating. And you guys want to sit up there and say you support the troops. The way to support the troops is to start holding people like Beto O'Rourke accountable. Now, this man was in charge of Fort Bliss. When the commanding general at Fort Bliss, General White, dropped the ball, and he did not do what he was supposed to do, which was to kick Ephraim Sims out of the Army for the domestic violence and give me and my children our TRICARE and our benefits and send us on our way. No, instead they decided to collude and try to set me up. I just don't understand why Beto thinks that he's going to get away with this. And also another reason, the main reason, because people in El Paso, for some reason, they worship Beto O'Rourke and Yahar Gutierrez. And I'm sure that has a lot to do probably with their parents or their grandparents. But Beto and Yahara are the lost generation. If their parents before them were good people, these people are not. And, you know, there's people trying to uphold these family legacies. And people like Beto and Yahara are about to cause the United States. Well, no, Texas, El Paso, Texas, they've already made it into a national security threat. God is not surprised, and I know for a fact that God sent me to El Paso to expose it. I worked my way all the way up the chain of command, from first sergeant to commanding general, all the way up to Congress and inspector general. And it was at that point where I began to truly understand that we are in a state. It's not an emergency, but it's time for those of us who are good. We have to buck up. Like, we can't just sit back. Like, I'm not going to stop talking about Kurt Angle until he's muted like R. Kelly. He's going to back up off my life. He's going to stop trying to take my life. He doesn't own wrestling. He can't take anything from me. And this psychopath really thought he had the opportunity. Well, he did. He got the opportunity, so he took it and decided to interfere with my divorce. I didn't marry him. Why is he interfering with my divorce? It's absolutely insane. The reason he's interfering with my divorce? Beto freaking O'Rourke. I'm serious. If Beto would have done his job, Kurt Angle would have never had the opportunity to stalk me and harass me the way he has been. So mute Kurt Angle, cancel Kurt Angle, save wrestling. The only way to save wrestling is to cancel Kurt Angle. He destroyed TNA wrestling, just like Beto O'Rourke is trying to destroy Texas and the United States. I know it's hard for a child to realize there's no Santa Claus, but people in El Paso, I gotta tell you, there's no such thing as Beto O'Rourke. And for all you marks And I'm not talking about the good marks, the fans that love the business with a passion. That kind of mark, I love you. I love you. But the mark that thinks they're so smart that they can tamper and destroy people's lives, y'all are about to be put on blast. Brother Greatness, I want to cut a promo with you, bro. Like your promos. I think that we could light up. Yo, we might get some people saved, right? Bring some people to the Lord. Love what you're doing with your work. When all the stalking is over, you know, we're going to get together. So it's very crazy. Junior asked me a question about he asked me a question about Texas. That led me to start talking about former Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke. And how this is all connected to the fake criminal case, and how we have to vote, and how we have to make sure, not only do we have to vote, okay, we need to run for office. Good people of America and around the world, please, please go to law school. There was like some sort of pact that must have happened. Like all the children of darkness got together and decided to become attorneys. And now the whole world thinks that all attorneys are like Bruce Tharpe and David Wilkinson. But that's not true. Yes, it's all about the kingdom, right, Brother Greatness? And that right there is where it's at. One thing wrestlers really need to get a hold of. Now I'm done with Beto. I'm over that. Let me go on to Brother Greatness is making me, let's see. Yeah, just his presence alone is reminding me of what we are all here for. Brother Greatness, you have an amazing wrestling character. I feel disrespectful to call it a gimmick because I don't think you're faking your character. So it's not really a gimmick. But I love the way you're presenting yourself to the fans. We need positive role models, positive images where wrestlers stop accepting that or expecting that their fate is going to be dying in a hotel room somewhere miserable and trying to still get booked, turning tricks for bookings like Bruce Tharpe at the age of 70. I mean, we ain't worshiping wrestling. Right? We worship God. But unfortunately, some people do worship wrestling. But what I think the problem is, sorry, I'm trying to adjust my little tripod here. Hold on. There we go. All right. Is that gonna fall forward? It's gonna fall. So what I think the problem is that so many people are like wrestling. Let me explain something to you guys. Wrestling could easily become someone's god, especially back in the day when there was only one company to work for pretty much. And what that does is it gives you a paradigm where you see Vince McMahon as God, and getting called up to the WWE roster for people who worship wrestling, they literally are satisfied with their life and they think that they died and went to heaven by simply going on TV. And that's the biggest work. Getting on TV is not getting into heaven. Getting on TV is not entering the kingdom of God on earth. It doesn't matter what the writers write or how many belts you put on, because all that hardware has to go back to the prop closet because it's not yours. And in wrestling, well, I was one of the last people who got to keep their real name in WWE. I didn't get to wrestle, but I valeted as Trinisha. Wrestling takes your name from you. You don't have any right to anything that you did while you worked there. So it's really a counterfeit kingdom if you worship it. To truly protect the business, we gotta keep our own minds healthy and our own souls healthy so that we treat our industry in a healthy manner so that little kids can look up to us. We all say we want kids to look up to us. So that means we can't be drug addicts. We can't get into this partying. We got to be going to the gym. We need to be doing charity work. We need to be being good behind closed doors. We need to be treating our families right. You know, wrestling means nothing. It's useless if you don't have power and control over your own spirit, soul, and emotions. I have witnessed wrestlers killing themselves because they lost their wrestling job. And then I see so many people looking at me shocked that I didn't lose my mind because of the things that happened to me in wrestling. Well, the reason why is because wrestling is not my God. I don't worship wrestling. But anyway, you guys, it's getting dark. I'm gonna fix the light and I'll be back.